flower, hats and caps, and that's how the gumnuts started.
3 generations of Australians have grown up with the adventures of Snugglepot and Cuddlepie, Bib and Bub, and the words and pictures of May Gibbs. From 1914 through to the late 60s, May Gibbs' work as a storyteller and artist made her one of the most important figures in Australian literary history, right up there with Norman Lindsay, Henry Lawson and Banjo Patterson. She produced 1,968 episodes of her newspaper strip, Bib and Bub, and countless other works for young and old alike, here at her home, Nutcote, in Neutral Bay, overlooking Sydney Harbour.
At the moment I live in a house in Neutral Bay, Sydney, and it's a dear little place with a long, long garden in which I wander about and pull weeds and dig for plants, and I'm very fond of it.
Try to imagine the morning sun pouring through these windows and May seated here at her artist's desk where she created Bib and Bub and Tiggy Touchwood. She was actually one of the first to practice and encourage conservation of the bush, long before it became fashionable. Famous and historical people visited these rooms, including Captain de Groot, whose sabre beat Jack Lang to the opening of the Harbour Bridge. The Depression years were fading for Australia, and things were looking up. Architect B.J. Waterhouse had designed Nutcote for May in the colonial revival style. But entertainment needed no reviving, with Smith's Weekly on the streets and writers like Kenneth Slessor, Lenny Lower and May keeping a smile on the face of the nation. But this isn't the Nutcote that May knew. This is a part of our heritage that's fallen into disrepair. Vandals have ripped the fireplace out. There's a caretaker here now. In fact, Nutcote could only be weeks away from the developer's bulldozer.
I used to have a little sketchbook in my one pocket and a pencil in the other and go around gardening, and that's how I got my best ideas out in the open. And then I'd go into the studio with a wet towel on my head, measure my board and start drawing them right up into the far reaches of the night.
The gardens that were once peopled with glimpses of gumnut babies and Banksia men have suffered even more than the house. There was a time when they were Nutcote's crowning glory. In Denmark, they restored the home of Hans Christian Andersen. In England's Lakes District, Beatrix Potter's house is a major tourist attraction. But what do? We vandalise what amounts to a part of our own heritage and something we can hand on to our children. Take a good look at Nutcote. May not be here much longer.
As far as I can remember, always everything had a character of its own, and everything became alive to me. It was just a fairy tale all the time.
That beautiful story was produced by Stephen Peters. Now, the Nutcote Trust so far have raised $1 million